a similar open to yesterday, in the sense that it's not a gap as such, but it opened up strongly and has continued to move up. And there is a gap between the Kijun and the Ticken and the price. It's a large gap. So I'm not going long right now. Okay. There are 2-3 reasons. First, I wanted to come back, test this, and then reverse. So that's when I'll take a buy. And the second is, this is my target, 79.56. So entry at 905, that's 50 points upside. And my stop loss is at 927. So that's a 70-80 points downside. So it's not a very favorable trade. So that's why I'm not going to enter this yet. So today's thoughts are that first, the future cloud is a bit bullish, but the this overhang which was there of this price coming down, it might take some time for it to go above that, or it might happen suddenly and very strongly. The second thing is, on the 15-minute time frame, price has just broken out of a cloud, but the future cloud is again bearish. So I expect there to be some extent of time correction in the sense that price will come down, but it remains sideways, where the Ticken and Kijun move up, or rather than the price coming down to it. So yeah, that's what I'm expecting for today. Price is moving strongly still, and I may not get any trades today if this continues. Let's see. Now it is around 10 o'clock, and price has, as I said, remained over here, and it hasn't moved up significantly, and the Dickinson has pulled up. So now the Kijun will also probably start pulling up, because once at least like some 8-9 candles. So 8-9 candles in 5-minute chart is around an hour, roughly an hour passing. So then only I think this will move up significantly, the Kijun. So I'm wondering whether this is a good entry point or not. Problem is, it hasn't even tested the VWAP yet. So while this may seem like a good entry point, since my target is so close, again the win loss is not really lucrative. That said, it is probably an assured win that it is going to go to 794. Still thinking about it, whether I should enter, because this is more like a trending indicator that this is strong trend coming. VWAP is strong, RSI is strong, OBV is rising. There's reasons to consider a long. So let's just look at it on the Nifty spot chart. So Nifty 50, almost an identical pattern. I was just thinking maybe here it might have broken out or something like that. Okay, so let's see what would be my target on a 15-minute time frame, if any. I would look at this high as a resistance, which is 950 level. So yeah, see here on 15-minute there is a crossover on this candle. I think I will take this trade if I'm going to go long on this now. I'm going to enter a long trade, and I'll hold it for 950 as my target, not this. Still not comfortable with the stop loss being far away, so I think I'll trail the stop loss as soon as I can, or I can do one thing. I can look at the retracement, or where I expect it to retrace. For this I use Fibonacci. So I go to the tools and I get a Fibonacci. So if this is the high, there could be like a 50% retracement that is somewhere around 17,800 levels. This more or less this. So I could use this swing high as my stop loss. So let's see on the Ichimoku chart, where would that be? Yeah, that would be the Kijun. Yeah. So yeah, I'm considering a long. I'm probably going to enter that trade now. I'll keep you updated on how the trend plays out. It's a long position. My entry price was 728.1. Currently it's at 930. So it's not really moved much. But here's what I'm thinking. So this was a gap, right? So I'll just make this a clean view. Okay, so here Nifty went, like I said, gaps are always tested and act as major support resistance levels. So right now it's testing this gap, okay, and it tested it. It came down, okay, slightly, and then it started going up. So that's why I took the entry when I saw this candle close but not go down significantly. So I've gone long here, and now the question is, what do I use as my target? So I'm going to stick to this high of around 986 rather than the Ichimoku cloud. So my cloud high is 955. So should I exit at 955 or wait for 985 and see how price behaves there? I'm going to wait for it to go here. I think it will, and I'll use this as my trading stop loss. So that should give me a guaranteed profit over here at more or less where I should ideally have exited. Now it's at 940. So the problem is the very small bit. I've entered at 928, so that's 930 to 950. That's 20 points, which is my aim to make at least 20 points on an average per day, right? Uh, but if I can see price going up here, why shouldn't I wait? Cloud tends to act as a resistance though. So let's see about my exit. I'm not yet sure. But for now, I'm placing a stop loss order at 950 levels. I've already placed it. So I have a stop loss order in place at 849. So this is just below the K26, somewhere around this level. Not sure this trade is going to play out. Hopefully it plays out well. Let's see. Holding on. Yeah, but so this is important. I tend to, when you use Ichimoku charts, you tend to not notice the gaps because there are a lot of lines and it's a very messy chart in that sense unless you are accustomed to it. So it's a good practice to occasionally just clean up everything and keep a blank slate. I put the MACD oscillator on this because I like to see. So this is a good sign of momentum and direction. These bars turning red is a sign of weakness in the trend coming in before the oscillator even changes. But still, it's a good thing to occasionally zoom out and just see a clear picture. Yeah, so that said again, so see this now gives me an idea that 950 is probably going to act as a resistance rather than it going all the way to 980. So yeah, it's good to zoom out, look at the larger picture occasionally. Let's look at 15-minute also now that we're talking about the larger picture. So yeah, see 15-minute it has broken over its target. This would have been the target, not target, resistance. And it is going up. Let's make this an ABCD on 15 minutes. So I mentioned this before. I use fractal bands and try and see what has been the support resistance levels or swing highs and swing lows. So this is a 3-hour chart. Yeah, I've picked 3 hours. You can take 2 hours also. I'm looking at the Fibonacci retracement, how much it is at this point. So yeah, this is a 38% retracement. So this is a very healthy retracement, anywhere between 38 to 60%, 55-60%, because you get that much of a move on the upside. So my target could be somewhere around this 18,300 in the long term. Okay, in the long term, not right now. And that kind of coincides with this high over here. So 18,250 is where it could go in the long term if this high is broken, which is 18,000. It's a tricky situation. Till it breaks out, you can't really take this trade. So long-term trader could wait for this to be taken out and then wait for So 18,300. But yeah, I'm looking on as an intraday trader. So coming back down to 15-minute time frame, I'll just clear this resistance level. So here you see there's a slight weakness in the trend. So it might take some time for this to be broken, 18,000. Once that is broken, but it would be a very good rally. So point being that uh, I'm not going to exit at 950. I'm still going to look at going to 18,000 before I search for an exit. That why didn't I take the entry on this candle? Okay, when it broke this high, there was a really good Kijun taken move, price moving up. So this was the first candle of the day, and I don't take trades for the first 3-4 candles. So I wait till 9:30 before I actually decide to take a trade, because the opening price direction is usually not a good indicator and can be can just randomly reverse. So that said, I'm just thinking that maybe when it is just breaking out of a cloud, I could actually consider taking a trade on the first candle of the day also. But I've burned my finger in the past when this happens. You know, it reverses and it's not really worth it. But you know, here where there was a clear target of 79.50, entering at 17,860 was like a 100-point reward for a risk of just 40 points. So I think maybe considering the risk reward, it could have been a good entry point. Something I'll have to keep in mind. Also, knowing that, so I should have actually kept in mind there is a gap. So knowing that there is a gap is very important. Knowing where price is going to head, at least having a basic expectations, not necessarily trading it for this gap to be filled. But even this could have been used as my target, 933 levels. I guess it's important to rethink your assumptions that you shouldn't trade on the first candle of the day when it is a clear direction. Something that I'm going to, you know, try and keep in mind, because even yesterday's short, for that matter, broke out of the cloud, broke this and gave me a clear target of this. Could have shorted on the first candle of the day. Would have been a good trade. I wouldn't have got stopped out till here, which was more or less at the target. Something to think about. That probably I can enter on the first 5 candles if there is a very clear target, if it is breaking out of the cloud. Something I start tracking and maybe even trade, because of course the recency bias and the kind of a retread bias that has happened in the last 2 trades. So I'm feeling it strongly. I'll take some time, scan through the entire past, not year, but some period, and see how this would have done. And then maybe I'll learn. So price went up today. So the price went up to 948.75, just shy of my target of 950. So I didn't get an alert and I haven't exited the trade. Interestingly, it pulled back from there and is come to very close to the VWAP and even the 20 period moving average, which it hasn't closed below as yet. So it bounced off it once. Right now the candle is at the 20 period VWAP. Is at the 20 period moving average and very close to the VWAP. So how it behaves here will be very interesting. Since it is closed below the Dickinson, I'm kind of cautious now on this trade. But I still expect it to at least go to 950 and get an early exit over here at 956, 955, where I'll try to close this trade. I'm still in a not in a major loss per se. I am just 400 rupees, so that's a few points down, 8 points down as of this moment. So I'm not trailing my stop to the VWAP as yet. A reason being that the cloud is here as well, the future cloud support 892. So it might be choppy and it might not go all the way down, and I don't mind holding this till the day end. So let's see. I'm holding on to this trade. So price has now closed below the VWAP. The VWAP is flattening and sort of curving downwards. Kijun is now straight down. It has changed its direction, but it's still above the Kijun, the price. Now the question is, do I close it right now or wait for my stop loss? So since I've already entered the trade and I'm down a few points, it's not that I'm hoping for a reversal, but I'm holding it till the stop loss is taken, because that's the rule, to wait till the stop loss is taken out. Also, price has broken below VWAP twice, but it has not broken very strongly. I mean, it has in a way closed below VWAP, but it pulled back immediately, and now also, and this candle, it is not moving down immediately. It's this candle, this one, it went down and it pulled back, and the next candle, the current candle, it is also moving upwards slightly. So I'm expecting price to again remain sideways, especially since there is a cloud here. But yes, as for the trade, will it go up now? Let's look at our ABCD, the fractal Fibonacci fractals. What are they saying? So I think this would be a nice healthy 38 to 50% retracement, which would give me a very good target as well. So yeah, so it is around 40-50%, between 45 to 40% retracement. So that gives me a target of around somewhere 18,035. This is a good reason to hold if it breaks this high, which is 950 levels. So again, 950 will probably not be where I exit. It will be somewhere around 18,000 where I start looking for an exit if this high is taken out and my stop loss is entered. As things stand though, it's very likely that I'm going to get stopped out of this trade. Price is quite weak. My system, that is the Ichimoku system, is not showing a strong uptrend in prices. There is weakness in the chart. Now it depends how price behaves here. Okay, it could reverse right from here and start moving, which would be ideal, and I would hold it on to 18,000, 18,030 levels. But now I think my stop is going to be taken. So will I re-enter the trade if the stop is taken? I will re-enter only above 17,950 once the stop is taken out, and my stop loss will be whatever the swing low is at this point of time. So yes, that's the update for now. Price looks weak. I think this will be my second consecutive losing day today. So price has closed below the Kijun, but not yet hit my stop loss. Now should I close this trade or hold on to it? This becomes a slight challenge. But, considering how the price trend is, there's no point holding on to a losing position. So I'm going to just modify this, make it a market order, close my trade. 17,857. So yeah, I have exited my trade. Price has moved up since I exited, but that's okay. I will probably go long above this. Again, I expect to move at around 1220, 1230. Am I going to look for shorts today? Very unlikely, since this cloud is bullish and there are a lot of supports here. Okay, and this is a strong support level. So I'm probably not going to go short today. But VWAP is trending downwards. The moving average is downwards. So if there is a strong move, perhaps, so maybe for the next one I'd remain sideways, and then there is a bearish future cloud. The spot cloud becomes thin, like something like this, a thin cloud. Then I might consider a short. Long only about this level, reason being the Chico span, which is this trailing, is going to face resistance of these prices. So I'm not going to go long unless this high is taken out. So I've set another uh, at 79.50. I'm going to go long only above that level. So let's see, I'm monitoring this trade. I'm probably expecting a long one more trade today. Should I have closed this trade or not? I think it's a good call to close it because price went below this. Even though right now it looks like it's not, there's no point in entering the trade now. It will just, if it comes back down, it will double my expenses. And if it goes up, I have a good target, so I'll make up some of the loss that I've incurred for today. So today's loss is around 3,500 points, and the put has kind of done well in that sense. So I'm going to close that put as well. Oh, here you go. Second sen has also moved. Kijun sen is moved up now. It's quite weak. There's no trend today. So yeah, I'll just close this as well. Exit 7.15. It should get closed. So reason being that 40 rupees brokerage will at least get recovered on this would be expensive. Yeah, thinking about this still long. So what I expect to happen is now the Tekkensen comes below the Kijun sen and then reverses and gives me a long trigger again. Hopefully by then the Chico will also be in open space and I might get an entry at 79.15 as well, somewhere around these levels. So trade to watch out for. But yeah, no open positions now. I've closed my long for the day. So price has moved down. It entered the cloud once, it took a support, it went up, it came down, and here I had placed a stop loss sell order at 809, which has got triggered, and so I'm short right now. So this is slightly against my system because while the Tekkan is below the Kijun and trending downwards, VWAP is down, moving average is heading downwards, and Chicago is in open space. The cloud is bullish. Okay, that is the Senko span A is above the Senko span B. So it is not ideally a good shot because the Ichimoku system, my basic system, is not giving complete bearishness. That said, a reading of the price action shows that there is a downtrend forming, and I expect it to stop here. Okay, so to find some support here. So I am keeping a nearby target of 766. Okay, so I expect price to go till here at the very least and close this trade. It looks short to me, and what has happened is that price pulled back quickly. That is why the Senko span A rose. But overall, this is a pretty thin cloud, and I'm comfortable violating this one rule part of my system that the cloud is not completely bearish. Like all the indicators are not bearish, but considering the VWAP, okay, that is one thing. The second thing is the RSI has been trending down strongly, so there has been selling pressure. And the final thing is I'm looking at the OPV. So this is the OPV at entry over here, 6.11, and now it is at 5.6. So there has been some selling pressure. The OPV has gone down. Considering these 2-3 factors, I have gone short, but I should have waited for price to close below the cloud rather than putting a stop loss sell order right away. So it has got filled, but the price is still in the cloud. It should have closed below. So that's actually a trade that I've preempted rather than waited for it to actually trigger and get filled. So I might face a little punishment for this in the sense that price may remain sideways still around here, which is 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. maybe even 2:30. But like I said, so now it is 12:30 and this broke. So now I'm expecting, I usually see, I've noticed strong moves happening around this time. especially when good supports are taken. So since this is taken out, I'm expecting it to go to this level. And if I go to the 15-minute time frame, okay, price is in the cloud, but it's a weak cloud, bearish cloud. So I could see some consolidation for some time. And here the target would be the bottom of the cloud, which is 77.85 or more like 17.775 levels, which coincides with my 5-minute target of 17.750, 17.770 levels. So I think this is a good target to have, and it will get filled. I violated my rules here. Let's see how how that behaves. And my stop loss for now is the VWAP, slightly above the VWAP. So 17,885 is my stop loss. I just set the stop loss order. 17,885. So 17,885, I've set a stop loss. I have a slight bad feeling about this trade because it did not close below the cloud. Well, I've entered a trade. So let's see how it moves. For now, another observation of mine was that if I look at the 5-minute Fibonacci retracements and I impose the Fibonacci on this. So if this I take as the starting level, this as the bottom level, this is close to a 50% retracement, and a trade is triggered. Okay, so my target over here comes somewhere around this level, 764 levels. So 760 should get achieved, but it's a slightly risky trade. So I'm going to exit at 775, irrespective of how the price moves from there. So that's getting me some 30 odd points. And at the open I lost 70 points, so I'll be net down 40 points for the day. That said, I was just thinking that since I had gone long at 17,828, 928 I think it was, it had reached 948, right, the high over here, 949. So I would have made my 20 points target for the day. So should I have taken 20 points and closed my trade over here? I'm not really sure. Something to think about if I should use just a fixed 20-point target. But I don't really like that idea because you miss out good uptrends in that case. Strong trends, up or down, doesn't make a difference. But now that this trade is in force, let's see on the 15-minute time frame. Yeah, so on 15-minute time frame, there has been no retracement with a fractal formation, right? So maybe price will go up for a bit and then come down. So might touch 17,870 before heading lower. Yeah, 17,865, 870 could be where the price goes to before it comes down to my target. So now I'm setting an alert for 17,775, which will be my exit. So create alert. Short exit is equal to 17,777. Create. Yeah. So now let's see where this goes. It still hasn't closed below the cloud price. Still in the cloud. So that's slightly dangerous for me, for my system. Greed. This is preempting a trade where there was a need. Shouldn't have done it. Second mistake now in a row after the Banknifty mistake yesterday. Okay. So my short exit got triggered. So this candle's low is 7775. But my trade didn't get closed because I have put a limit order for 7774 and missed it by a point. But I'm going to hold on. I think it will go back to it. It will be really unfortunate if it doesn't. Um, so I've cancelled the order. I think it will go. I think it will go actually to this level. But now that the future cloud has turned bearish, I'm actually considering holding on to this trade for an even lower target of 750. So if I look at 15-minute charts now, okay, it just dropped below the cloud at 775. So will it close below the cloud is the question. So now it's 12:42. So this chart is going to close. The 15 minutes are going to end in like 3 minutes more. So I'm going to sit on this trade for 3 more minutes. So it will even be the close of this candle and the next candle. If it breaks, okay, if it goes below the 760 level as well, then my revised target will be this, okay, 720. So 720 is my real exit target. Two reasons. It is coinciding with this 708 where it went yesterday, and it can move even further from here. So I'm going to monitor how it is. It's going to be my alert over here. Beyond that, it could probably go to 660 levels. So seems like a good trade. Entirely depends on how it closes now. So fingers crossed. Hoping for a good down move. So I'm going to set an alert now initially for 750, 752, 755 level. So create alert. Short exit less than or equal to 755. Okay, this is going to be my first one. I'm going to create a second alert, which is going to be here. So 720. Short exit alert 725. Let's say. Sorry, less than or equal to. And my final target where I will exit, no questions asked, is this level if it goes here. So this is 17665. This is short exit 665 less than or equal to. So since I want to monitor it there and not miss it, I'm actually going to put it at 670. Brilliant, brilliant. Moving well. So it has reached this target. First target met. I'm pretty sure the second target is going to be met as well. Where's my stop loss? My stop loss is here still, just at the top of the cloud, above the VWAP, above the Kijun also. Brilliant, brilliant fall. There's the selling coming in. So now let's look. RSI has dipped. OBV is nice and short and falling. Now it's at a support level. Okay, this is also a support level, and it's broken as I'm seeing it. Future cloud is turned bearish. All indicators bearish except for the current cloud. Chicago is in wide open space now. It can go really low. I think it can go to the 700 level at the very least. But it should face resistance on its way there. I'm going to trail my stop after it reaches here to my entry price. So I don't want to take another loss for the day. So if Kijun comes down here somewhere, then I will trail that to my stop. But yeah, it's looking like a good fall, quick fall. So this is now, if you see the timestamp, this is 12:45 candle. 12:30 to 1:30 usually is a sharp sudden move and a good trending move. At open, then it remains directionless, waiting for a while, and then again at this candle, see 12:35 candle, 12:30, price tends to decide on a direction and start moving. Uh, so yeah, I'm holding on to this trade still. Fingers crossed for 700. 660, I don't know today if it goes, so it will have to break a lot of support level to go there. It might be tough. So I'll be happy if I get to exit at 720. And second thing is, should I trail my stop loss here? Because that was my initial target. So I won't do that unless there's a swing high formed over here. If a swing high forms over here, then that would be my exit. But I'm loving the fall. Like, this is a really good trend, very strong trend. I think my alert is going to get triggered for 725 also now. What's this low? Low is 737. Yeah, seems like a good trade. So am I now? I think now I should be at break even, 500 points down still. So this is 1245 short, but okay. Price is pulling back, but that's fine. That's fine. No need to panic. I've recovered a lot of the loss I made from this wrong trade by entering another wrong trade, in a sense, just because of this cloud. But I think everything else was confirming, so it's not really a bad trade. Unlike the morning one, where price was really far from the Kijun and it was going to fill the gap. So the mistake I made in the morning was not spotting the gap, that price was just merely going to fill a gap. I think it's in a good downtrend now. So if it would have broken 18,000 over here, price would have gone quite high, 18,050 or something. Another 50 points from here would have been doable. So now on the downside, if this is broken, I think we'll have a similar structure. So looking at 15-minute charts. Okay. So you see this area is going to be a good support level. Even this for that matter, 725. So that's where I would like to exit. I'll be happy with that. Let's look at an hourly chart. What does an hourly chart show? Nothing really meaningful over here yet. At least on the downside. Upside is still intact. There's a good uptrend. No, not really. This is a swing low that was formed. And another swing low. So if this is another swing low, then it's a weak uptrend. Now there should be a really nice rising swing low pattern. So swing low, swing low, swing low, swing low. But this was another weird swing low that formed. This is probably an opening candle, yeah. So I don't know how much importance to give to this. But if I trade this as a swing low, then how much of a retracement are we seeing? We're seeing a retracement of exactly 50% here. So it's a target of 18,300 roughly. Don't know. So if it goes to 17,660, which I was saying, it's even below this. It's somewhere over here, which is this swing low. I don't know if that will be tested or not. Yeah, it's pulled back. It's made a green candle. Probably a slight retracement is in order for it to go even lower. So I think a slight retracement will actually be beneficial for the trade, as long as it doesn't go back into the cloud, right? And I said, if this forms a swing high over here, that will be my trailing stop loss. Price is dangerously close to my entry. My entry was at 700, 809. So on this trade, I'm in a profit. Overall, I'm in a loss for the day because I booked 70 points loss at open. Chico tends to take support on the cloud. Is something I've noticed. It often takes support at the cloud. But breaking below this again, Chico would be good. So yeah, hoping for it to maybe form one more higher candle here, so we get a nice fractal before it goes back down. That would be really good. So yes, good second trade, I think. Should I trade my stop loss now that the Kijun is also below the cloud? Would use the cloud as my stop loss. 834. So that would be another 30 points loss. So 100 points lost for the day. It's 5,000. I think I'll just wait for a while. I'm not going to trail my stop just yet. I'm going to leave it at this high level. Let's see how price moves. Maybe this was the target and should have closed it over here. But considering what I know, so now what I see as the price action, it can head even lower. So I'm going to hold on to the trade and not close it just because it reaches target and is pulled back. I think it should test these lows, at least come close to them. So 700 should be a good exit. I think I'll create an alert for that as well. All depends on how price is at these levels. Short exit less than or equal to 17,710, right? Probably I'll create a trail alert also. So at 830, if it goes to 830, I have to rethink it. Short trail SL greater than or equal to 830. Okay, let's now just be patient and see where it goes. It's 12:53, almost 1 p.m. So by 2 p.m. I expect my targets to be hit, either my target or my stop loss. Fingers crossed for a good trade. Let's see. I just wanted to talk about price action over here. So this is a pullback, okay, and it has closed in the green. This is another candle closed in green, but it has a really tall upper wick and this has a really tall lower wick. And now this candle is also green, but it is not, it's not closing at its high. So how do we interpret the sentiment over here? So I'm looking at RSI over here as well. RSI has just started rising. It had dropped to around 25 levels. So RSI, I look to think like below 50 is bearishness. And if it starts rising from around 20, there's some buying coming back in. Now it's like close to 33 and going to rise above 35 levels. So, okay, let's just think about this candle. Okay, there was selling, okay, where it opened. There was buying and it went above that. So this could indicate that selling pressure is over here, and buying has come in. And this one indicates that buying came in, but not so much. People are still undecided. And the current candle, okay, now that the high and close are almost the same, that would say ki, okay, definitely buyers are back and exit, right? So looking at price action, it seems that okay, trend is over. There's no more selling coming in. This was the low for the day probably, but this is at the Dickinson. So close above the Dickinson would probably confirm this that okay, it's done with the selling. Probably consider exiting. Also, the Kijun is not very far away. So interpreting this price action along with this gives some sense into what could be expected. And also have to remember that my 5-minute ABC target was over here. So that is also a factor into this whole thing, that once that target is achieved, price would perhaps pull back. So the Fibonacci target was here, 763. And a pullback could be expected from this support level, this window. So I really need to think about exiting now. I'm just going to wait for this to close, see how the next candle behaves before I make a decision. But I think holding on to this trade was a mistake. Okay, intraday. Yeah, at 796, I'm still at a small, tiny profit because I've shorted at 700, 808. It's 10.15. So yeah, now price is closed above the Tekken. Tekken is flattening, Kijun is flattening. So what do you do? I think I'm going to trail my stop. I'm going to trail it to this. I'm still not going to trail it to my entry. I'm going to trail it to 827. Like I said, that will be taking a hit unnecessarily. But it should face resistance here if it is going to continue going down. It's not yet formed a swing high is also another important point. Okay, because two more candles below this high only would confirm a swing high. So 7 is this one's high, 797. Tough place to be in. Okay, so was my entry wrong? That's the question. Yeah, I violated my rules. So perhaps let's just look at the retracement over here. If it goes to the Kijun, yeah, that will be more than a 60% retracement, in which case it's unlikely to move lower significantly. Yeah, so I'm decided. I'm trailing my stop to the Kijun because that also coincides with the 20 moving average, right? So since that is there, it's also almost the high of the previous day. Should I use that? 888. How much is this? 845. I think I just go here. 836. 745 was my exit. 36. I still think there's weakness in the trend. It's just 3 candles. Out of those, only this one is a strong candle. This is a strong candle. These two are not very strong candles. Although this one signifies the end of a downtrend. So it's like a hammer pattern formed at the bottom. So a green hammer at the bottom or a red hammer at the top indicate the end of those trends. A green hammer at the bottom of a downtrend is a sign of a trend ending. It's like a full stop, but it could be taken out also. If it's taken out, it would be a really good downtrend. So okay, let's modify my stop loss first. What do I want it at? 840. Okay, let's take it at 835. So at my entry, it's at 809. So I entered at 809. It's at entry. I'm at break even now. Smart trader would probably exit over here, accept the mistake and move on. Why isn't buying? Should I take a 30-point loss for a potential 70-point swing? I think yes. I think it's worth it. The risk reward is favorable. So I'm going to hold on to the trade. I'm not closing it yet. Because RSI is still below 50 as well. OBV is close to the start of the day, but still below. Okay, it's time to stay patient. So price action continues to be weak. Okay, so this closed above the Dickinson, this closed below the Dickinson, this closed very close to a Dickinson and had a large selling pressure. And this one is also weak. Now both Ticken and Kijun are trending downwards. VWAP is slightly flattening, but it's also downwards. Moving average is sharply down still, and overall it looks fine to me. So I think just because this cloud was bullish, it's not yet moving down as sharply as I would like it to. But I think it's fine. I think not closing the trade right here is a good decision. Keeping a stop loss at 835 is fine because my target is 700 levels. So that's 100 points down. So, okay, still waiting. I'll probably trail the stop loss here. So price action, like I said, was still weak. This was another weak candle because it didn't go above this high. It just remained indecisive, and this candle is now below these lows. So this is established as a swing high over here. So I'll take the Kijun at 820 as my stop loss. So now if it gets hit, it will be even smaller loss. But price is still not gone below the Dickinson. So questions being asked about bulls and bears over here. So I think bulls are still not entering as much. Bears are still in control because the moment it reaches some crucial level, there is selling pressure. So this was cloud right here. A cloud turned flat here for a bit, became a resistance level, and came. And here, when it went low and touched this, bulls are driving it and asking questions of the bears. So uh, undecided market. But but now that looks like a good pullback. So I'm trailing my stop again to this 825 level. I don't know why this is not getting updated. It doesn't update. And but you see the slight benefit of this winning position. It gives you a mental peace. Not so bad, not so far down for the day. But yeah, price action always triumphs over technical indicators which are lacking. This formed a swing high. Maybe 820 would be a better stop. But what I think might happen is to just trigger and go down. So I'll watch how it moves here. So let's set a price alert for this high. So 815. Monitor trade greater than or equal to 17, 815, say 814. Okay, let's just monitor the trade if it does reach them. It's 798 still. Okay, very undecided market. Price breached the 820 levels, 825, but and closed above the Kijun, but I still not closed my short. Reason being, the original trade is still open. I mean, the original stop loss was not taken out, and so I'm still holding it. I'm using the VWAP to as my stop loss now, so 860 levels. But I'm going to exit once it goes to this level, 752 levels. Yeah, I should have exited here when this pullback came, and this price action, this candle was actually an indicator of a close, a bullish pattern, these three together. So questionable decisions on my part, but I'm going to still hold this trade for a while. At least till the VWAP is violated. My original stop loss was 885, right? So this one, 885 was my original stop loss. So I've lowered it to 865. So let's see. I'm not sure. What to do. Because future cloud is bearish. Price is above the Ichimoku lines. But the price action is not that strong. So I was looking at on the 15-minute chart. Okay, so this retracement is it's not too deep. Yeah, so it's close to a 50% retracement, and A60 would be a 61% retracement. So it can move lower and go to that 630 level. So I'm still holding on to this trade. I think now it has turned into a hope trade rather than a technical trade, which is not a good way to trade on hope. So on 15-minute, it is in the cloud. Okay, but it's a bearish cloud. So expecting it to face resistance and move down once again. But there's no guarantees here. Chico is in a bit of resistance on 15-minute time frame, and on 5-minute time frame, it is at resistance, so it can move lower from here. So it's a trade where it depends on where the market decides to take it. There's no clear direction. I'm not very confident on a particular direction. So still waiting for 865 to be taken out, and then I'll be stopped out, and there won't be any more trades. But I'm still feeling like I might get some recovery at least by the day end, and this trade would probably close in some gain, not a major gain, but some gain. So yes. So by the day end, price got pulled back. It was probably profitable for a while. We went to 760 levels again, but I didn't exit here. It continued to sway my decision, and it went all the way up, and I exited at the VWAP. So net for the day, I am down 7,000 rupees, which is 6335. Consecutively bad decisions. Could have been a much better day. The short should never have been taken. In hindsight, or if it was taken, I definitely had to exit over here. No need to wait for it to go lower. Or okay, I could have waited for it to go lower, but the moment this happened, I even said at this point that a smart trader would close this trade, and I didn't. I continued to hold on to a short, and just a very wasted day. So lost capital for no reason. So that's the main takeaway for today. That trade the system, follow your rules. Follow strict stop loss is one thing, but follow strict exits is the lesson for the day. No need to be greedy and hopeful. Never trade on hope. Trade on conviction. So it's a good thing that I took the stop loss here and didn't decide to convert this into a delivery trade or something. Because imagine today's Friday, and this would have been a really bad weekend if you carry a trade with a lot of panic, and then Monday would have been wrong as well, wrong decisions. So it's a good thing that I closed the trade, but it's a bad thing that I entered the trade itself, the short trade. And if I enter it, that I didn't exit it is even worse. Exit it in time. So a lot of lessons today. The long trade that I took at the start was probably uh, was fine. Maybe it was very delayed, and I should have closed it when price closed below the VWAP. But okay, I'm not very unhappy with this trade. It was as per the system at least. This was around